before we start on the AWS part, I'd like to talk about Python. So why Python? So definitely we're all here because we love Python. So why are we using Python? So when you go to Python's website, there is this definition. So Python is powerful, fast, plays well with others, and it runs everywhere. And then it's friendly, easy to learn, and then it's open. So that is the definition on Python website. So in my definition, this is my definition of why I love Python. Okay, Python is very simple. Okay, it's basically when you want to learn Python, you can just learn it in a few days, and then you can just start running your application in just a few days. So it's very easy to learn. Okay, so an example is this one. So I created a hello world Python. It's just one liner to have a hello world, and then when I run it, that's it. Python hello world, and then it outputs. It's very easy. Okay. And the next reason is it's general purpose. So you can use it for a variety of applications: web application, serverless, machine learning, big data. So which I will show you later on. Even IoT. Okay. Next reason is Python is cross-platform. So no matter what OS you use among these three, is you can run Python. On Windows, Python you need to install it. On Mac, it's already pre-installed. I believe it's also the same for Linux, so I'm not sure. Depends on But on Mac, it's already pre-installed, and that's it. I'm ready to use it. Okay. The next reason is Python is popular. So if you go to PIOPE, is Python is number 4. Talo lang siya ng Java, C, and C++, but Python is number 4 on the index. Okay, so it has, if you go to the index, it has 4.67 rating, and if you look over the rating, ang number 1 talaga sa Java, 14%. It's used mostly in enterprises. So Java is really popular. Okay, but still, Python is still popular. Kasi ano yun, itong index na to, this is top 100 general purpose languages. Top 100 yan. Okay, so number 4 si Python, so don't be sad. Okay? Kasi bakit number 4 lang? Anyway, it's top 100. Okay? Yeah, some might not agree. Python is top 8. Actually, if you look at it here in the Philippines, I saw na the one language that is paying more than Python is Ruby. Okay, Python's the second. I saw some numbers before, but I couldn't find it, so I looked over to the US market. So this US market is top 10 Python. So if you look there, yung mga popular languages that is being used here in the Philippines, like PHP, wala siya sa list. So if you're a Python developer, no, it's not to demean PHP or anything. Kasi very popular type. It's a law of supply and demand. There are less developers of Python. There's more developers of PHP. You can find PHP developers everywhere. So definitely Python will be more. Kasi very scarce yung resource. Okay. So why Python? Let's just wrap up. So Python is simple, general purpose, cross-platform, fourth most popular, and top 80. Okay. So I'm done with that. So what are the use case of Python? Okay. So I'll just go over. I went to Python website and then the application. So I have the link there. It's there. Python.org/apps. So I basically extract those information and put it on the slide. I'll run it through. So Python is used for mainly web development. Yun yung mga popular eh. Sinong Django developer? Mostly yun ang pinakamarami. Hindi masyadong marami. One. Mali ako. Okay. Mali ako for this one. Yes. Okay. But usually it's Django. Very popular. Yeah. Class. Yun, mas marami. Mas popular na pala. And okay. So I've used Class and what else? I've used Pyramid. I've not used Django. Okay. So these are web application is one of the most prominent use of Python. Okay. Scientific use. So sinong gumagamit ng Python in this regard? Machine learning. Wow. Wow. So yeah, So you can use Python for scientific use. Okay. The next is education. So and then desktop apps. So sino bang nagde-desktop? Wow, very rare. Yeah, very rare yan. Mga nagde-desktop apps, creating desktop apps using Python. Okay. So this, I think it's quite hard. I know, I haven't tried it. Okay. Software development. So ito isa pang rare to. Usually hindi ito sikat din for software development. Yung mga CI/CD. Where you doing CI/CD, yung mga sikat yan, Travis, Jenkins, yeah. You won't go to this usually, but there is, okay, there is an option for Python, okay, and then it's application. So there are applications that are built using Python, like Triton, Voodoo, mga CMS platform, yeah, okay. So those are the uses of Python when you go to python.org, okay. So what can you do as a Python developer? What can you do on AWS? So definitely, all those things you can do on AWS. Because AWS is a platform, it's a cloud infrastructure in which you can run any Intel x86 application. You can run on AWS. You cannot run Solaris. You cannot run IBM Power. Okay, anything that Intel x86 platform runs on AWS. So definitely, all those things that we mentioned can run on AWS. Okay, so why do you want to run Python on AWS? So this is more AWS specific. I'm going to go through why do you want to use Python on AWS other than doing it on shared hosting or on your on-premise. Why run it on AWS? Okay. So number one is global infrastructure. So we have 18 regions across the globe. And of all those regions, we have at least 2 availability zones. So the nearest region is Singapore. We have 2 availability zones in Singapore. So what that means is it's very unique concept in AWS. Availability zone is a separate location in that particular region. So for instance, in Singapore, we have 3 availability zones. So these are 3 separate locations. The reason why we're separating this, the separation is about as low as 10 miles to 100 miles. Okay, we cannot go over 100 miles because the latency will be high. Okay, so we want to keep the latency low. That's why the maximum that we have in terms of separating this availability zone is 100 miles. Okay, so the reason why we separate this is because of failure. Failure can happen. Okay, kung hindi if failure doesn't happen, then hindi ka na sana nagpalit yung computer mo. Part ng computer mo, you haven't changed your laptop. Actually, ito, bago lang ito eh. Noong December lang ito eh, kasi sira yung laptop ko before. So failure can happen. You have to, when you want to design application, you want to look at that it fails. Okay? The underlying hardware can fail. Okay? So you use availability zone to separate this your application in this availability zone. So in case of failure, your application will still be up. Okay. So availability zone is a separate location in a region, and it's separated between floodplains. So magbaha, then what we foresee, only one will be affected. Separate yung tectonic plates. So in case there is an earthquake, we're looking at only one will be affected. So that's why when you design your application using availability zone, you can have highly available application. Kasi kahit bumaksak yung isang availability zone, up pa rin application mo because you're using multiple availability zone. Okay. When we drill down to an availability zone is a collection of data centers. Collection, okay? It's not a data center, it's a collection. So when we talk about AWS region, it's actually a lot of buildings, a lot of data centers. It's not just one data center. Okay, it's multiple. Okay, if you look at the category of data centers, we have tiering. Tier 4, 3, 2, 1. If you go, for those who have worked with the data center environment, you will see there is a tier 2, tier 3, tier 4. I've seen a local company here, one of the biggest telco, I will not name. I've seen yung isang facility nila in Cavite, it's tier 3. Their facility in Davao is tier 2. Okay? Bakit ganun? Kasi tier 1 is very expensive. It's all the facilities inside that data center is redundant. power grids is redundant. The backup power is redundant. The cooling system is redundant. The networking is redundant. Everything is redundant. Okay, even the people is redundant. Okay, so that's why it's very expensive to maintain tier 1 data center. In AWS, all our data center, all are tier 1. Okay, so if you and tier 1 data center is redundant by all those things. Okay, when we talk about a region in AWS, it's redundant by data centers. So if you categorize it with the tier 1, 3, 2, 1, it's not actually part of the categorization. Because we're not redundant by the racks, we're not redundant by the servers, we're not redundant by the row of racks, we are redundant by data centers. So example, we have this service called Amazon S3. So Amazon S3 is a storage on AWS cloud. Okay, when you put your files on S3, it has 11 nines of durability. The reason for that is because we copy all those. When you copy one file, we will replicate across the whole region. So multiple data centers in that region. So in Singapore, that's 3 availability zones. That's at least 3 data centers, or can be 6, can be 9 data centers. We don't know. Okay. So when we replicate it, the durability increases 99.9999, 11 nines of durability. What that means is that if you have 10,000 files on S3, the tendency of you losing one file is after 10 million years. Wala na tayo lahat bago umulan ng file. So that is the probability. Okay? Next reason why AWS. AWS is at the top of Gartner. Gartner created this study. This was updated June 2017, this last year. They put AWS on the top for the infrastructure as a service offering. Okay? So, and then Gartner said in 2014, if you combine the top 14 competition, the top 14, combine it, multiply it by 10. That's the scale of AWS. That's what Gartner said. Okay. And then the next reason is the pace of innovation. So we have, in an hour, we deploy 5,000 features in an hour. Because we have continuous integration, continuous delivery, we are able to deploy 5,000 features in an hour. Okay, that's crazy. If you divide it by 60, divided by 60 again per second, you will see the rate of deployments that we do on AWS. Okay, so the reason for that is because we have this concept of 2 pizza team, and then that 2 pizza team is focused on one particular service or feature. That team. And the reason why it's 2 pizza, because it's not big, it's not small, it's enough. The 2 pizza is when we give 2 pizza in that team, it should be enough for that team to finish those 2 pizza. It's not too big. Okay? So that's why it's still functional as a team. Okay? And then this is the pace of innovation. So as you can see, exponentially it's growing. Okay? Since 2011, we were established in 2006, AWS. Okay? So since 2011, 82 new features that we launched, and then features and services, and then as you can see, it goes up and up. So 2007 is 1,430. And to date, we have 4,343 features and services that we've launched since our inception in 2006. Okay? And then, why AWS? My last slide. May quiz dito later on. Okay, so please memorize. Okay, I'll be giving some jackets. Okay, I have some jackets at all. Okay, for those who can answer this later on. Okay, anyway, these are the suite of services that we have. We have 100 plus services. Before last year, it was just 90. Okay, we have this being bench. Ayun, taking pictures for that. Okay. Okay. So last year, in November 2017, we've launched several features and services. That's why we have about 120 now. Okay, but before in 2017 November, 90 plus lang yan. Okay, so it's very fast, very rapid. We deploy these services. So we have services. Yung bare node, if you think of a cloud, the bare service that you were look for a cloud is basically the infrastructure, networking, and compute. That's it. And then that's the basic.
That's the basic up to here. But definitely you would need database and storage, but you can do that with compute. Okay, but so these are the basics. From security down, those are the basics. But up to compute, you can use the cloud. Okay. So we have services depending on what are your use. Like for example, analytics, dev tools, CI/CD, AI, IoT, mobile, enterprise application. And then also we have account support. So I'm included here. So if you need some support in your team, I can actually go to your place. It's free. Yeah, I will not charge you. Okay. I will even buy you a meal. Okay, next. Okay, on to our topic. This is our topic. Okay, so we've just talked about Python. What is Python? Why do we love Python? And then why AWS? Okay, so marry the two. These are the cool things that you can do on AWS. So I'm not expert in all of this. Okay, we have 120 plus services. I cannot be expert of all. If someone is more expert of those services, let me know. Yeah. We're hiring the same. If you're better than me, we're hiring. Let me know. Okay. So Python tools. If you go to AWS, ito yung pinakasikat na tool, the SDK. In AWS, we call it the AWS SDK for Python. Pero alam ng Python developers to as Boto. Okay? Ang dalawa lang naman flavors yan, the Boto and then Boto 3. I don't know kung bakit nawala yung Boto 2. I don't know. Okay? Don't ask me about history. Okay? Anyway, it's Boto 3. This one. That is the SDK. Okay? So if you're going to use AWS, basically, you use Boto everywhere. Okay? So any type of application, there is Boto in there. If you want to automate things, like launch several servers, you can use Boto. Launch some database, back out, you can use Boto. So instead of going into the console, kasi when you log into AWS, that is the AWS management console. Instead of doing that, you can do all those things that you do, click, navigate, all those things in Boto. Okay? Okay, you can programmatically do it on Python using Boto. So aside from that, meron pa tinatawag na AWS CLI, which the same. You can do all those things that you click on the AWS management console on the CLI commands. Okay. So these are the use cases that we'll go through. Yeah. Okay. So I have some demo on AI because that's one of my favorite topics. That's why I brought my sticker. So yeah. So these are the use cases that you can use on AWS. This is not all. Hindi ko kaya ilagay lahat eh. I have already 77 slides na. Yung nakakaya ko mapag-cache eh. Yung iba some slide lang talaga. Okay? So web applications. So on AWS, you can use this Django and Flash. Pero hindi lang ito. Kasi maraming web application frameworks that I showed you a while ago. But these two, actually, meron kami starter guide for that. Okay? So you could use Elastic Beanstalk to deploy this environment. So this environment, as you can see here, it has a load balancer, and it is on auto-scaling. Auto-scaling, it will adapt depending on the users accessing your website. So if you have at night, tulog yung website mo, you can have just one server. And then during daytime, you have a lot of users, you can have as much as 10, 100, or even thousands of servers for your website. So if you look at this in auto-scaling, it's cost optimized because you pay for what you use on AWS. So if you just have one server running at night, you will just pay for that one server. If you have, auto-scaling, that's why it's auto, it will automatically provision new servers. So you will pay for the amount of time that you use those servers. And it will automatically kill those servers depending on the metrics that you specify. For example, 80% utilization average of the whole fleet, increase the number of servers by 2. And then if the average utilization is 20% for the whole fleet, you can delete one server at a time. Okay? So it adapts depending on your traffic. Okay, so you can use Elastic Beanstalk to deploy it. So Elastic Beanstalk is a deployment tool. So you can just give a code mo on Django or Flask, i-zip mo, bigay mo kay Elastic Beanstalk, it will deploy it. It also has versioning, and it could also do blue-green deployment. That's why walang downtime. Walang downtime na deployment on your new changes. Okay? And then aside from that, ito medyo simple. So you can support a few hundreds or maybe thousands of users on this setup. Okay? You can also expand this to make it highly available and scalable web application. Okay? Yung mga ganitong slide, ito yung mga quiz. So as you can see here, nilagyan ko lang ng Django. Okay? So the web application is stateless. Stateless kasi if you want to use auto-scaling, it has to be stateless. You have to maintain the state somewhere else. So where would you maintain the state? You maintain the state on an external persistent storage. An example of that is DynamoDB. So when the user logs in into your web application, save the session in DynamoDB. Kasi nag-auto-scale eh. So why do you want to do that? Because if your user is routed on this first box, and then the next request niya, pwede siya ma-route sa ibang box. If you maintain the state on that box, then hindi na siya kilala no second box. Okay? So you have to maintain the state elsewhere. So an example is DynamoDB. And then what we're doing this is we put the static files on S3. So S3 is object storage. We put your static files in there. It has an HTTP endpoint. So you upload yung servers nyo of the static contents. Para yung servers nyo will not serve JavaScript, CSS, images, video, audio, which is matakaw yan eh. I mean, ipapaload mo pa sa mga web servers mo, it will still take resources from your server, memory and CPs. So instead of doing that, offload this sa S3. Actually, you may want to offload a lot of things. This is parallelism. The reason for that is because you can size your servers very small. We don't need a very big server. We offload the some of the tasks of those servers somewhere else. So another example is yung CloudFront. This is a CDN, Content Delivery Network. So you can offload even the dynamic content. So not just static content, but also dynamic content. You can offload that to the CDN, CloudFront. And then we're using the managed database. Sino ba DBA dito? Meron ba DBA? Ang galing mag-manage ng database. Kasi pag programmer ka, ayaw mo mag-manage ng database. Sino na nakapag-try mag-replication? I've tried it. It's very painful. Very painful replication. I've tried it on a production system. It's very painful. Okay, MS SQL, I've tried it. Tapos kapag nagpo-corrupt pa siya, I forgot kung ano yun eh. I forgot yung term eh. Yung nagpo-corrupt siya, tapos wala siyang pag nagre-restore siya, hindi ko alam kung gano'ng katagal. MySQL, gano'n rin ba? I don't know, I haven't tried replication on MySQL. But I have friends who have tried replication on MySQL. Actually, replication kasi is, since may network latency and the network is cannot be reliable, then magkakaroon ng mga lapses in the replication. It's very, very hard. When you hit the cache first, ask the cache, do you have this information? If the cache doesn't have that information, you hit the database. Kasi database, especially SQL, database very, in terms of performance, hindi siya ganun kagaling. Okay, lalo na kung magaling ka, mahilig ka mag-normalization. Di ba? Yung mga tinuro sa atin sa school, normalize. So, ang ganda-ganda ng natin, database design natin, dami-daming line. Very cool. Pag pinaset mo sa boss mo, boss, ganda ng database design, normalize yan. Ang problem, when you query, you have a lot of joins, it's very slow. Okay? So don't be afraid of replicating your data. Okay, that is the focus on that is the performance. Okay? Anyway, you can support a lot of users using this architecture. Next one is so on our website we have a starter guide on using the Flask and Django. Palug lang. So may basahin. Anyway, Flask and Django, you can go to our website, search that on Google. Anyway, and then you can see how to use Elastic Beanstalk on those tools. Okay? The next one is task processing. I've used this on my previous team in Business Online. These are my previous team actually, that's why I know them. Yeah, they work in Business Online. We do a lot of task processing in there. Okay, so an example of using task processing using Python is if you have bulk email error, media transcoding. Kasi pag nag-email ka, specifically yung mga SMTP, pag nag-call ka ng SMTP, ang tagal nun. So nasususpend yung processing, di ba? Nasususpend. Atay niya. Okay, bumalik na. Segundo yun eh. Ang tagal. So, if mag-aantay ka ganun, ang tagal. If naka-sequential yun, ang tagal ng processing. May i-email siya kunyari ng 100,000, siyam-siyam. Okay? Media transcoding. So, from one media, convert it, etc. You can use this. Kasi ganito lang naman yung process of task processing. You have the input, you have the process, and then output. Very simple. Okay? Report file generation, yung mga mag-generate ka ng PDF or Excel file, CSV, you can do that input, process, output. Okay? Ito yung mga task processing. And very popular is yung tool sa Python called Celery. Okay? But hindi lang ito yung tool that you can use for task processing. Okay? Pero ito yung pinaka-popular on Python, Celery. Okay? So an example of Celery on AWS is this. Yan. Okay? So as you can see here, this example is parang media transcoding. Okay? So you put your files in Amazon S3. So S3 is a storage for files. You put your files, it will trigger an event. Okay? The event will publish to the SQS. SQS is simple queuing service, like RabbitMQ. Okay? So message queuing technology. Okay? Pag na-publish doon, the worker app, which I coded on Python using Celery, will continuously call SQS if there is a message. There is a message. Okay? Once there is a message, it gets the message, process it, and then output the file. So this is me transcoding. For example, nag-upload ng malaki file, 4K. 4K file, and then I want to support web, iOS, Android. Then I need to convert that 4K to different types of media outputs. Okay? So this is what you can do. And then I put it on auto-scaling, so in case na mag-die yung isang worker, it's okay. Mag-create na lang yan ng bagong server. Okay. And then if it dies out, the message will go back to the queue. Okay, so another instance, another server, Celery app will get that queue and then get that message and process it accordingly. Okay? So this is using virtual machine, the elastic cloud compute. Okay, the EC2. It's using virtual machine. Doon nakalagay yung Celery. So another example of you doing this is using Docker. So instead of having EC2, which is you have one box of EC2 for processing, you can have a Docker. So I can have a lot. I have my EC2 fleet for my container, and then I will put my container, the worker task, in each of those fleet. And then it will process it. So same processing. So this is using Docker and then Boto. Okay. And another processing option is using serverless, which is our next topic. So using serverless, still using Boto. So I think I didn't change my slide. Actually, I copied it. Anyway, see Lambda, which I have more example later on. This is a wrong slide. Anyway, Lambda can use the SQS as a trigger. So when there is a message in SQS, the Lambda will get it. And Lambda is a managed service. So if you put 1 million message in SQS, okay lang, magpa-parallel yun. Mag-spin ng 1 million Lambda function to process those messages. Okay? So hindi na kailangan mag-auto-scaling. Okay? You don't have to think about that. So our next topic is serverless. So this is the CTO of Amazon.com. So Werner. So Werner said that no server is easier to manage than no server. That's why we created the serverless. And that is AWS Lambda. So Lambda is serverless compute. Serverless meaning there's no servers. You don't have to think about servers. What you need to think about is just code. Code the function. Yun nga lang, hindi masyado malaking application to. Okay, it's just very small because there is a timeout in Lambda. The timeout is 5 minutes. So after 5 minutes, hindi ka pa tapos, papatayin yung Lambda. Okay, so you have to create your application na looking after the 5-minute timeout. Okay? So this is how it looks like. So you can have several triggers for your Lambda function. So you can trigger yung mag-upload ng file on S3, it will trigger Lambda function, or mag-publish ng message on SNS. Or there is a, the API gateway is usually used. The API gateway is used to serve REST API, and then the target will be a Lambda piece of code. So you can create a lot of APIs, and then the backend will just be all Lambda. Although it's very complex to manage. Kasi the problem with Lambda, since it's very small, so if you want to create a full-fledged application using Lambda, it's very complex. Because you have to manage a lot of Lambda functions. Okay? But there is a way on how you can manage those complexity. Okay? And Lambda supports these languages. Walang logo sa C#. I don't know why. So that's why nilagay lang C#. Okay, so one of this is Python. Okay, that's why I mentioned this. So the Python is, you can use Python on Lambda. Okay? And then the charging for Lambda is the execution per 100 milliseconds, okay, up to 5 minutes. Okay. So this is an example. So you can create an API, REST API, publish it in API gateway, and the target is a Lambda function. So you can have your mobile app here to consume that REST API, and then the Lambda, and then it uses DynamoDB. So this is totally serverless. We don't have to manage any servers on this. AWS manage this for you. Okay. If you further expand this, you can have n numbers of Lambda functions. Nga lang, ang problem nito is it's very hard to manage. Kasi when you create a Lambda function, you have to go to the AWS console. Doon mo i-write yung code mo, paste mo doon, etc. Okay? That is very hard if you do that. So that's why merong mga tools that were created, yung mga serverless, Zappa, and on AWS we have Chalice. Okay, Chalice is you code it on your laptop, and then it's just so this is your project. For example, you code it on your laptop. This is your code, and then you use the Chalice deploy command, and then it will upload it to AWS. So this one will create an API gateway and Lambda function. You already have a REST API and then Lambda at the back. Okay. So you can go here, github.com/AWS/Chalice. Isa pang option when doing this, hindi ko nilagay because syempre official, eat your own dog food. Diba? Meron pa isa yung Zappa. I've used Zappa. Okay. Alam ko mas mature si Zappa. Nga lang, syempre, mas mature, mas maraming feature, rooted. Oops. Analytics. Okay. Big data analytics. So, in big data, these are the biggest indicators of individual behavior. So, if you want to know more about your customers, you have to look at this data. So, usually kasi when we want to know information about a person, usually ang data na tinitingnan natin is demographics. Age, group, male, female ba siya, what else? Basically demographics, saan siya nakatira, saan siya nagtatrabaho, basically demographics Yun yung first call. But this is more powerful. So you look at the purchases. Kasi if you look at the purchases, kunyari, nakita mo isang shopping cart, if you've seen, meron siyang diaper na binili, alam mo meron siyang anak. Merong bahay, meron sa household niya. You can even count ilan yung tao. You can predict ilan yung tao sa household na. Kapag bumili siya ng grocery. How frequent mag-buy ng grocery. Okay? That's more powerful than the demographic. So you look at purchasing behavior. Okay? So makikita mo pa anong klaseng lifestyle meron sila. Healthy ba? Okay? Or mahilig pa sila sa mga unhealthy food. Makikita mo doon. And then, the other thing is movement. Okay. So, movement, anong oras siya? Kasi kaya yung mga application natin on the phone, pag tinignan mo yung phone mo, laging naka-on yung GPS. Magaling ito eh. Dinatrack tayo, ayan ako. Okay, kahit saan ako magpunta, alam na alam niya. Okay, so kasi very important yung improvement in terms of big data. Kasi paano kanya bebentahan kung wala ka naman doon sa store niya, di ba? Magpupush siya sa'yo, mag-notify ka, for example, SM. For example, magpupush notification sa sa'yo, nasa bahay ka, madaling araw. Ano naman sense, di ba? Kahit mabasa mo yun, lapag mo, tulog ka ulit, and then, kinabukasan, kalimutan mo na. Di ba? Mas maganda, kung pagpasok mo, kita yung location, push, pwede. Baka pwedeng mabili. Mas mataas yung probability of you buying because relevant on the location that where you're in. Okay? Like for example, another thing in terms of location is yung timing of you pushing ads. Okay? Like for example, early in the morning, magpo-push ka ng ads, very busy, papasok siya trabaho, kaya pupunta siya sa school. Siyempre, hindi niya papansinin yung ads mo. Lalampas lang yun, read, tabi niya yun. Okay, so the best way of you pushing those ads is, tingnan mo kung nasan siya, yung location niya. For example, nasa school na siya. Kailan ba siya gumagamit ng Facebook? Kailan ba siya umuupo? And sit down, yung nandun lang siya sa isang place. Okay, that is mas mataas yung probability of you pushing ads on that. So very important location. Okay, next one is influence. Okay, sino may next K-pop? Wala? Ayaw mamin. Okay, so influence. When you say influence, yan yung mga those are the more relevant to the person. For example, if we talk about Bill Gates, gusto mo ba si Bill Gates or you hate Bill Gates? Trump, do you like Trump or you hate Trump? Duterte. Okay? There's two sides diba? Baka naman mag-push ka doon sa isang tao, hate niya pala yun. Wala na. Diba? So these are indicators of individual behavior. This is how you can shape your customer to interact with your application differently. Positive ba siya or you're pushing back the customer? So these are the indicators. So what can you do with this data? Okay? So you can build a platform to process this data. Let's start with the outcomes. So the outcomes in terms of, let's talk about business. Diba? Pag business, you want revenue lift. So malaking kita. Diba? You want market acquisition, customer delight. Kasi, for example, very negative yung mga posting sa Facebook. How do you increase that? How do you make it positive? Okay? So those are the outcomes that you want to do. Okay? So when you want to do those outcomes, I have this data. What do I do with those data? I need to process those data. Okay? So I need this pipeline. So the pipeline for processing the data, you can ingest it, you collect it, you store it, cross-analyze. So as you can see here, this iterative. So when you process the data, hindi na mag-end doon. You can have multiple runs on the processing. Okay, and then consume the data, which is basically putting it on a database and then putting it in a visualized manner. So this is how it looks like on AWS. So this is what we call the more modern data architecture. So you have here the data sources. So the data sources mo, yung mga transaction, yung mga POS system mo, ERP, the web logs, cookies. So you have to collect all those data. Minsan hindi na natin pinapansin yung mga data na we're not collecting it. And then yung mga IoT devices and social media is very powerful data sources. So you the next bit is you need to ingest this. And then the middle part is to process it. So dalawang klaseng processing. We have the scale processing and then we have the speed processing. Speed meaning real time. As the data comes through, you process it right away. An example nun is yung mga sa games. Kasi sa games, pag bored na yung user, they have some algorithm to know that the person is getting bored. Aalis na siya ng game. Okay? So you have that window, very, a few seconds lang yung window na yan Yung window for you to basically upset. If you don't do that, then magiging churn na yun on your application. So that's why very important yung speed. Normally, yung speed is, we don't act on it. Usually, nandun lang tayo sa batch So after the fact, we collect the data, and then we process it, we make a sense out of it, and then we serve it, alam pala natin, kaya pala mataas ang churn ko, kasi ganito. Nangyari na. Hindi mo na, you cannot correct it. Yung before na, ang makokorrect mo na lang is yung future. Kasi nangyari na. If you want to correct while it's happening, dun ka sa real-time layer. Okay? And then the serving layer, these are databases. And then you have those users at the end that consume this data. So those are data scientists, analysts, business users, your CEO, and then engagement platform and automation. Okay? And then if we put AWS services in between, this is how it looks like. May exam na naman mamaya. Okay? So this is very complex. So, as you can see here, you use yung mga networking component to ingest the data. So database migration, if you have database on your on-prem for collecting data, for example IoT, kino-collect mo on-premise kasi IoT, baka nasa farm, walang internet, siyempre ang hirap eh. But you basically collect the data on-premise. So yung data na yon, iba-batch mo na lang, upload it to AWS. Okay? We have Kinesis, which is for streaming data. Yung mga Twitter, kasi Twitter medyo can be overwhelming if the hashtag is very popular. It can be overwhelming, so you need a tool that can ingest a lot of data. Okay? So as you can see here, the data falls into the raw data. Raw data, these are unclean data. Okay? Ito yung data na raw form, basically. You need to process it. So you have several tools for processing it. You have the ETL tools, you have EMR, ML. So sa EMR, yung Spark is you can use Python on it. That's why I'm talking about this because may Python component. Pero for you to create this type of architecture, hindi lang Python ang kailangan mo alam. Okay? But Python is one component. Okay? Si Python nagagamit sa MXN. It's a deep learning framework. Another deep learning framework is TensorFlow. You can use Python with those tools. Okay? So as you can see here, you can create inference. Inference is an artificial intelligence. Okay? And then move that intelligence, the inference, into the speed layer. So the speed layer is powered by Amazon AI. The inference, the intelligence. So you can use those data to create the artificial intelligence, the inference, and then put it here. So as data comes in here, it will be scored using that inference. Kailangan ko ba mag-act or kaya ako na lang? For example, mag-churn na ba yung customer based on my previous behavior? Is this customer about to churn? If the customer is not about to churn, then I will just forgo with it. Pag mag-churn na, I think this user will churn. I need to act. Anong gagawin ko? Mag-upsell pa ako? Bigyan ko ba siya ng gamit on the game? It depends on you. Okay? But you should act on it para hindi mag-churn. So you can act on it using this lambda. Okay? Para you can absorb. As you use this, mapapansin nyo, we have this concept of data lake. Yung data lake, you use Amazon S3. Si S3 kasi it's a storage. You can put all of your data in there. So you put your raw data in there. When you process it, put it in a data lake. Okay? And then, ang S3 is very cheap eh. It's about 1 peso and 25 cents per gigabyte per month. That's how cheap it is. Yun nga lang, siyempre, pag marami kang data, you have thousands of IoT devices. Siyempre, lalaki yun ang lalaki yun. So when you process your data, you may want to purge it. Na-process mo na eh. Bakit kinikip mo pa yung raw data? Unless you have reasons to keep it. Okay? But you can basically delete it, purge it. Okay? Next one is AI ML. Okay? This is my favorite topic. So I was just in Aklan nitong Friday and I presented this. So in AWS, we have used AI ML in different services that we have. So we have Prime Air. So Prime Air is delivery drone. So syempre, yung flight path niya, avoiding, sensor avoid technology is to sense if there's and then avoid. Okay? And then makikita niya kung saan yung landing zone niya, deliver the package. So that is using AI. This is Amazon Echo. Yeah, Echo is, you can talk to it. Hey Alexa, can you do this for me? Yeah, so nandito si Alexa. Si Kiba, isa robot in our warehouse. Kasi warehouse, napakalaki ng warehouse namin. Actually, it's one of the mega structures. If you look over Google, one of the mega structures yung warehousing na. Kasi napakalaki, I mean. Kasi napakaraming items inside. And syempre, for a person to navigate that warehouse, it's basically very hard. For example, may bumili. Ito yung order list niya. Isang tao magkukuha nun, ang hirap. At kaya hindi ka pwedeng magkaroon ng traffic, ang gulo-gulo. Okay, that's why binili ni AWS, ni Amazon si Kiva. Si Kiva is a robotics company. We bought it to basically manage the warehousing of the fulfillment center of AWS, of Amazon. Okay, so sila yung nagpipick ng items. Kapag may dumating na order, bibigyan ng kay Kiva, hey Kiva, get this item. Yan ang bahalang kukuha. Okay? Ito, recommendation engine, basically available. Pag meron kang e-commerce website, you have to have recommendation engine. And then, the Amazon Go.
4 years ago, we started to wonder, what would shopping look like if you could walk into a store, grab what you want, and just go? What if we could weave the most advanced machine learning, computer vision, and AI into the very fabric of a store, so you never have to wait in line? No lines, no checkouts, no registers. Welcome to Amazon Go. Use the Amazon Go app to enter. Then put away your phone and start shopping. It's really that simple. Take whatever you like. Anything you pick up is automatically added to your virtual cart. If you change your mind about that cupcake, just put it back. Our technology will update your virtual cart automatically. So, how does it work? We used computer vision, deep learning algorithms, and sensor fusion, much like you find in self-driving cars. We call it Just Walk Out technology. Once you've got everything you want, you can just go. When you leave, our Just Walk Out technology adds up your virtual cart and charges your Amazon account. Your receipt is sent straight to the app, and you can keep going. Amazon Go. No lines, no checkout. No, seriously.
Anyway, yeah, it's already live. It's already live in Seattle. We didn't have one store. So, people have tried it. You can go to YouTube, you can see the experience of people going. No lines, meron pa nga sinasabi, no lines, di ba? Pero may pila sa labas. Walang pila sa counter. Pero sa labas yung pila, gusto kasi i-try ang dami. Yeah. I have some of the solutions architects went there when we went to US this January. Some of our team members went there to actually try it. And then meron pa ng iba trying to break the system. Okay. Meron dyan meron isang journalist, sinabi niya hindi siya na-charge sa isang yogurt yata yun. Hindi siya na-charge on that. Kasi if this AI, there's no perfect AI. You can try ways, di ba? Kasi wait, paikot-ikot data. Pwede ba? Meron daw pinag-u-turn niya ako eh. Alam ko yung daan. Bakit mo okay? Akala niya dead yan. It's not perfect, ang AI. Okay? Kaya nga may human pa rin to intervene with those decisions. Okay? Kapag hindi sigurado si Amazon Go that you really got that item, it will not charge you. So walang overcharging. Usually, hindi ka na makuha mo siya for free. Sa'yo na. Tapos meron iba, they're trying to break the system. If you're successful, then sa'yo na. Okay? And good luck. Okay? Okay? Amazon Polly. Okay? So Polly is a text-to-speech. So kanina, kung wala pa yung iba, I tried it actually. So si Polly is text-to-speech. So I have this. I have this text. You select the voice. So I've selected British English. And then let's try it. So I have a web server here. I'll show you the code. It's written in Python. Siyempre, Python tayo eh. So this is the server. This written in Python. So the source code of this, you can just go to our website. Okay. Anyway, let's try it.
Amazon Polly turns text into lifelike speech. It lets you create applications that talk naturally, enabling you to build entirely new categories of speech-enabled products. Amazon Polly is an Amazon AI service that uses advanced deep learning technologies to synthesize speech that sounds like a human voice. It currently includes 47 lifelike voices in 24 languages, so you can select the ideal voice and build speech-enabled applications that work in many different countries.
Yeah, so this is API based. So as a developer, you're just consuming REST API. Okay, so it's very easy. I'll show you an example on how you can teach Polly to say certain things in a manner that you want it. For example, itong Richard's number.
Richard's number is 2,122,241,555.
Mali, di ba? So, I can teach Polly to speak it in a manner that I want it. Tuturuan ko si Polly. Mali, hindi marunong. Okay? So, for example, this one. I'm using SSML. SSML is a standard. Okay, speech synthesizer for the language. So, I'm using tags, speak, and then I want Polly to interpret it as a telephone. For example.
Richard's number is 212-224-1555.
Okay. So, pwede ko rin pabulungin pa si Polly. Para may ano natin po ba? Okay.
He was caught up in the game. In the middle of the 10th of March 2014 World Wide Web Consortium meeting, he shouted, "Score!" quite loudly. When his boss stared at him, he repeated something in a whisper.
Yeah. So you can tell Polly to whisper it. And pansinin nyo to. Hindi niya sinabi yung 10/0. Sinabi niya yung petya. Okay? So it has natural language understanding. It can understand kung ano yung nakalagay sa text. Okay. Anyway, moving forward because we're running out of time. Kung naubusan tayo ng time, hindi na makapagbigay ng jacket. Okay? Pero nandiyan yung jacket. Lex. Lex is using sorry, hindi ako nakapag-prepare dito. Anyway, Lex is using is a chatbot or you can talk to it via speech. So an example nito is this on Facebook. So still it's API based. I'll just show my phone. Okay, now we can extend it for about 10 minutes. Is it okay for you guys? So I can give the jacket. That's the reason. Okay. Oops. Okay, just gonna show my phone. As you can see. Okay, so that's my phone. So walang daya. Okay. Anyway, that's my phone. So as you can see, I can talk to this. So you can go to my Facebook page. You can like it. Pero walang say because just for my demo. It's called Cryptastic. That's my Facebook page. So I integrated Lex into Cryptastic. This is for demo purposes. So if you look at that Facebook page, ano yan, immediately response. Kasi kahit tulog ako, mag-chat yun. Kakausapin nyo ng kahit tulog ako. Okay? So as you can see here, magre-reply siya kagad. I said, hi. So sorry, hindi niya naiintindihan. So ang naiintindihan niya, book a room. Okay? Book a room. Yeah, what city? Date site to eh. So Chicago. Okay? So what day you want to check in? Nag-demo ako nito sa Aklan. Ang galing ng audience ko. Kasi normally, ang nilalagay ko dito is tomorrow. next Friday. Dali, di ba? Kasi normally, when you interact with a system, an application, date format iba-iba pa yan, depende sa localization. Kung Australia, iba yung mauuna. Diba? Kung Philippines, iba. May iba't ibang format pa yan. So, bibigyan mo pa yung format. Ito, hindi. Okay? Text. Kausapin mo siya. Meron akong, sabi, ito yung binigay sa akin example sa akla. Okay? What day you want to check in? Next year's Valentine's Day.
Wow.
And tinry namin. And then, tingnan natin gumana. Kita mo gumana. Nagulat ka ako eh. Kasi sabi ko, give me a hard one, sabi ko. And then they gave me that. It's very hard. Pero naintindihan niya. Let's verify if that's correct. It has to be February 14, 2019. Okay, that has to be it. How many nights? Giveaway pag sinabi kong in number eh. So I'll just take it in words. Okay, what type of room? Okay. Yeah. So let's see. It's February 14, 2019. Naintindihan niya. Yung date input ko. So I didn't have to input the date. Okay? Okay, so moving on.
Gawa niyo yung chatbot niya?
Yeah, I created it on my account. Pero there is a source code on AWS. You can just find book a trip. Example yun eh.
Let's say yung chatbot gawa niyo sa Python.
Gawa sa Python. Python yung lambda code niya to validate yung city, and then yung age. Yeah. So may lambda backend siya. It's using on Python. Okay, the next one is recognition. So recognition is image analysis using deep learning framework. Yung kanina ko pang pinapakita using deep learning. Yung deep learning is using artificial neural network. It's an advanced machine learning type. Okay? If you want to do machine learning on a very complex data set, you use basically deep learning. Yun yung mga mahirap, like yung text-to-speech. Mapasin nyo, very human-like. Okay, yung mga image analysis, very complex yan. Kasi mga madadali, yung I have this sales data. Ano yung magiging sales ko next year? Very easy yun. Kaya kong gawin sa Excel yun using regression. Okay, that's very easy. So, that's why you use deep learning for very complex tasks. Okay? This using Amazon recognition. Ito yung mga features niya. Facial analysis, facial recognition. You can, meron akong customer in Cebu. Pag papasok ka doon, meron doon sa, kailangan mag-scan ka doon. Scan ka, papasok ka doon, alam na kagad, babatiin ka. May poly pa siya eh. Babatiin niya yung pangalan ko. Pag nakita niya ako sa tour. Okay? So, we're just using it for to try the technology. Celebrity recognition. So, we put a lot of celebrity faces in there. And you can check if meron celebrity. So, meron gumagamit nito sa US, which is merong camera, looking at a politician, tapos syempre papalit-palit sa podium yung politician, si congressman, si senator, papalit-palit. So, doon malala, they index kung nasan si congressman, doon sa video. Yung sa time stamp, kung nasan siya doon sa video, alam nila kung nasan si congressman doon. So, you can go to that time stamp, cut in, ito yung speech ni congressman. Kasi kung 1 hour yun, good luck naman. Kunyari isang buong araw, like SONA. Diba? Kailan mo ba nakita yung particular na ano? Kasi SONA ang tagal eh. Diba? Ang hirap na i-scan mo. Pero if you use this, madedetect niya yung mga faces. Okay? Example, you can go to this website for those who has internet. You can go to code4.cloud/image. So this is how it looks like. Yeah. So you can upload your pictures here. And then it will detect it will get the metadata. So as you can see here, malalaman niya this is a person. Tapos may percentage if you hover it, 99%. So that is the confidence level that this is a person. So it can detect yung mga places. Like for example, this is indoor conference room. This is the Aklan eh. Yung demo ko sa Aklan. And that's me. Wala na siya na human ako. 99%. Okay. So, like for example, this one, there is a chair, furniture, yeah. Yeah, glass, alam niya. So, nadedetect niya kung ano yung naman ng image. And then, you can go to face catalog. So, ito-crop niya yung mga faces that it find on those videos. Okay. So, like, for example, if you go here, you can see the sentiment. Happy ba siya? 95%. And 70% calm. Ano tayo ng balong ko? Yeah. Then, mapapansin nyo, pag mas malabo, na mas, syempre, mas nahihirapan siya to say kung ano yung sentiment ng tao. So, mas malinaw, mas alam niya. Okay? Anyway, going back, so wala na tayong oras. Yeah. So I'll just run through. Wala na akong demo, fortunately. Transcribe is basically from speech, text, convert niya. So useful siya sa mga courtroom. Alam mo ba yung mga yung mga sa courtroom, yung nagtatranscribe, 100 plus words per minute yun. And sino mabilis? Ako pinaka-peak ko, pag simple yung paragraph, 80 words per minute na yung pinakamabilis ko. Yung mga nasa courtroom, 100 plus, 120 words per minute. That's their job. They need to, tapos paring pa yung mga nagsasalita, iba't ibang tao. Diba? Ang hirap. Ang hirap. So imagine, for common people like me, hindi ko nasama kayo. Like me, hindi ko kaya yun. Okay? So transcribe. So you use this service, give it a video file, and then it will transcribe the text out of that audio file. Another thing, this is translate. So, alam naman natin, translate, we can just go to Google, di ba? Translate, etc. etc. Pero ito kasi API based, you can integrate this to your application. Di ba? Okay. You can try scraping Google for that. And then good luck, kasi syempre, detect niya na code kayo. Block niya kayo. So, instead of doing that, you can use API based. Comprehend. So comprehend, give it a text, it will understand ano yung content ng text. May entity ba doon? May binanggit ka ba na person? Key phrases, makikita mo kung yung mga key phrases, the language use. Nade-detect niya kung Tagalog, hindi niya lang naiintindihan. Okay? But it can detect na sa Tagalog. It can understand the sentiment. Galit ba yung nagsusulat? Nag-try ako, naglagay akong love letter. Love letter. Alam niya. Hindi, happy naman siya. Tapos naglagay rin ako ng resignation letter na galit. Alam niya naman. Okay? Wala akong pinag-uugutan. Anyway, you can use comprehend to have a lot of articles, feed in, and then you can make sense of out of the data. You can put it on a database, categorize it, depending on the data. Okay? So, yun yung mga madali na API. Okay? Kasi API ay na AIML. Kasi we just use it. Doon tayo sa mahirap. Okay? So, yun sa mahirap, pero ito medyo madali pa to eh. Kasi the SageMaker is for developers, targeted for developers. So, you can create the environment, and then it will have a Jupyter notebook. The Jupyter notebook, meron kami mga sample Jupyter notebook that you can use to play around with that with data. Then you can use you can select variety of frameworks. Ito lang nilagay ko. Pero merong mga ibang pang frameworks. Kasi ito lang yung gumagamit ng Python. Okay? So, out of the box, it supports TensorFlow and MXNet. Alam naman natin TensorFlow is a Google product, diba? Pero 88%, as per Nook's research, 88% of TensorFlow is running on AWS. Okay? So, MXNet, PyTorch, you can run that, and you can select the framework. So, after you select the framework, you select the algorithm. So, yung top 10 algorithm is available on SageMaker. And then you do the training. The training, it will spin up several servers to train it. And after it's done, it can destroy the servers. Okay, so you just pay for the amount of time you did the training. Okay, and then when you deploy it, it can deploy it on an API, REST API. So you can readily use the inference coming from the SageMaker to use it in your application. Okay. If mas hardcore pa kayo, then we go to the deep learning AMI. Ito yung sa mga hardcore. Mga nagtaas mga data scientists. Okay? Okay, so you use AMI, Amazon Machine Image, is using EC2 to deploy a template. So meron na siya MXNet, TensorFlow, etc. Okay? So naka-integrate na doon. And then you can use the GPU because deep learning basically uses GPU. It needs intensive kasi calculation. So GPU is very good at floating point calculation. Yeah. Okay, and then the last bit is the IoT. So in IoT, not IoT is Internet of Things. So we have things. The things are devices that you connect to the internet. Okay, very simple. So you have the thing here, and then you have the cloud in there to connect. And then the intelligence, as you can see, the logic is shared with the thing and the internet. So it depends on how you use the IoT. So the first part is IoT core. This using the intelligence will reside on the cloud. So you just use the thing, the device, to publish data into the cloud, and then it can support billions of devices and trillions of messages. So for you to create IoT, tapos magde-deploy ka na server mo, gawa ka ng REST API na server mo, running on Python, you can do that. But can you scale to trillions of messages? It's hard. This is a managed service, so this can scale no matter how many devices that you have. Okay. So if you want the intelligence to reside on the local, you use basically GreenGrass. GreenGrass is a software. You install it on the Raspberry Pi, mga ganun. Pero hindi mo siya ma-install sa mga maliliit yung processing unit like ESP8266, yung mga maliliit yung clock speed. Okay? So ito yung mga full-fledged. Pero meron kaming kernel for those lower clock speed. Ang tawag ng free RTOS. Yeah, RTOS, yeah. Which we just launched last year. Okay, pero hindi ko na siya nilagay because you can, ito yung mga magagamit mo in Python. So we have an SDK for IoT. Okay, so this is an example. So this is an example of temperature sensor using Raspberry Pi. And then that is the sensor, and then it published to AWS Cloud. Okay. So to summarize, these are the cool things that you can do on AWS. Okay. Thank you.